Movie Recaps presents Minority Report. The movie opens with a dreamlike sequence where a woman and a man are making love, which ends with another man entering and stabbing them to death. It ends with a young woman in a pool of water seeing the vision, and she says it's murder. An alarm goes off, and a machine whittles two wooden balls. One has the name of the victims, and the other has the name of the murderer. John Anderton enters the Department of Pre-Crime and is briefed on the situation. It is the year 2054, and new law enforcement division has been created using three psychic beings, known as precogs, that can foresee a murder that will soon happen. John uses amazing technology to scrub through the images that the precogs had in their minds, and tries to narrow down clues. Anderton and his crew arrive in the neighborhood where the murder will take place and rush in to stop the man from killing his wife and her lover. The man has a device called a halo placed upon him that renders him docile, and he is arrested and imprisoned. Later we see John in a bad part of town soliciting breathalyzer drugs from a dealer with no eyes, and heads home. At home we see John alone. Through interactions with imaging software, he watches a video of his son, takes the drugs he just got, then watches a video of his wife. We can see that he is divorced and that something bad has happened to his son. The next day, John goes to work on an automated car and roadway system, and when he arrives, we see a citywide technology that scans everyone's eyes when they enter buildings. John is then told by director Lamar Burgess that an agent from Justice named Danny Whitwer has been sent to investigate their program before the city votes to keep it or not. John meets Whitwer, and he drills them with questions about how things work. He wants to go into where the precogs are and meet them. John says that no one goes into the temple for fear of contamination. Danny insists and shows that he has the authority to do so. Reluctantly, John agrees, and they go in, meeting Wally, the technician who takes care of the precogs. The precogs are two men and one woman named Agatha. They are kept in a state of twilight. Everybody leaves except John, and as he looks closer at Agatha, she suddenly grabs him, looks up, and asks him if he can see. He looks up and sees memories of an unknown older woman being attacked and killed by a masked assailant. John goes to the prison and with the help of the caretaker, looks up the images that Agatha showed him. He finds out that the woman's name was Anne Lively, but the rest of the files are missing. He also learns that the murderer replaced his eyes with someone else's to hide his identity. John goes to Burgess and informs him of what he has found out, and Burgess mentions the loss of his son. Danny breaks into John's home and finds the drugs that he has been using, happy that he may have found enough human error to shut down pre-crime. John is back at pre-crime investigating another future murder. In the process, John is shocked to see himself killing a man he doesn't know. He covers as best he can, and Wally gives him time to flee before he sounds the alarm. John has an encounter with Danny and ends up on the run from his own people. Danny goes to Burgess, but he defends John and insists that he not be harmed. He is caught by his teammates but manages a harrowing escape that ends with him fighting Danny and truly escaping. John drives to Iris Hinneman's house. She created pre-crime. He gets poisoned by a sentient plant, and she bandages him up. He questions her and finds out that the precogs are never wrong, but they sometimes disagree. If society knew this, pre-crime would be destroyed. So the minority reports are destroyed the minute they happen. John is hoping to find a minority report for himself to stop them from chasing him. She says he can find the original minority report in Agatha's mind. John goes to a black market surgeon who replaces his eyes and gives him a pen-like item that will alter his facial features if need be. John asks for his original eyes. The doctor sets a timer, and he leaves. Danny goes to visit John's wife to see if she knows where he is. She says she doesn't know, and Danny brings up John's drug use. She tells him to leave. John dreams of he and his son at a public pool. They were seeing who could hold their breath the longest. While John is underwater holding his breath, his son is taken from him. John wakes up just as pre-crime enters the building he is in and sets mechanical spiders out to find him. He lowers his body heat by laying in a tub of ice water, but the spiders end up scanning him. He is safe because of his new eyes. Back at pre-crime, Danny is going over the images again as John uses the face-altering pen and his original eyes to enter the temple and grab Agatha. John and Agatha travel to get her normal clothes and take her to a man he knows that could download her memories. She is scared of the waking world and all that is happening. Danny sees John's computer setup and sees that it was created by the man John is going to see. John and the man get Agatha's memories, but she tells him that he does not have a Minority Report. She senses the police, and they run again. With the help of Agatha's psychic abilities, they manage to evade pre-crime, which leads them to the apartment building where the murder is supposed to happen. Inside one of the rooms are hundreds of photos of missing children, including John's son. The man enters, and John attacks him. Agatha tells John that he has a choice, and he can decide not to kill him. The man says that he was told to let John kill him for insurance, and that he isn't really the guy who took his son. The man demands that John shoot him, and ends up pulling the trigger on himself, and dies. Danny meets with Burgess and says that they are after the wrong man. He found evidence that someone faked a pre-crime murder and got away with it. Suddenly, Burgess shoots Danny, killing him, and plants John's gun at the scene. John takes Agatha to his wife's home and realizes that he was set up because he got too close to the murder of Anne Lively. Agatha tells the story of Anne because she was Agatha's mother, who cleaned herself up and wanted her daughter back, but they wanted her daughter for pre-crime. Pre-crime appears and arrests John, sending him to prison. Laura, John's wife, seeks solace with Burgess and finds out through their conversation that Burgess killed Anne Lively. At a celebration party, Burgess is presented with an ornate revolver and praised. John calls Burgess, showing that he has been released and knows what Burgess has done. John shows video of the crime and shows everyone that Burgess hired a man to kill Anne, knowing he would be caught, and then dressed up like the killer and killed Anne Lively himself. At pre-crime, another murder comes through, showing Burgess killing John. They rush to the party. John and Burgess face off, and Burgess pulls the trigger of his gun, killing himself. At the end, pre-crime is shut down, and Agatha and the others are living a peaceful life away from the city. And with that, the movie ends.